Good morning, students. I hope you all are doing well at your places. And today we'll be studying about sentences. We all know what are sentences. That is group of words that make a complete sense. उसी को हम क्या बोलते हैं? Sentences. So let's just begin with this topic, that is sentence. So the title of our chapter is sentences. We all know this. A group of words that make a complete sense. उसको हम क्या बोलेंगे? Sentences, right? So there are some points to remember that sentence. They always makes a complete sense. पूरी sense बनाते हैं. It begins with a capital letter. हमेशा sentences capital letter से begin होते हैं. Words का कुछ एक particular order में आप set करते हैं. Sentences के पास हमेशा verb होती है and it ends with a full stop, with a question mark, with an exclamatory mark. So do want to go Agra? Go now, you do. Story are interesting and we reading. So do you think that all these two above sentences they make a complete sense? No, because they are not arranged in a proper manner. These sentences do not make any sense because they are not fixed in a proper order. So do you want to go to Agra now and we are reading an interesting book? These sentences they make a complete sense because they are arranged in a proper order. Next is we have to study about the parts of sentences. There are two parts of sentences. First is the subject, next is the predicate. Subject means जिसके बारे में हम बात कर रहे हैं. It's a part of sentence which indicate कि what and who and what about the sentence is. It can be in a noun or you can say pronoun. Next is predicate. Predicate वो part of sentences है which says something about what, which says something about the subject, right? और इसके पास हमेशा क्या होगी? एक verb होगी. जैसे my grandmother likes a cup of tea in the morning. उसको टी चाहिए रहती है मॉर्निंग में. किसको? ग्रैंडमदर को. This is the subject, rest is the predicate, right? Many people they gathered at the store to avail the discounts. कौन स्टोर पे खड़े थे? बहुत सारे people. So this is the subject and this is the predicate, right? So both subject is usually placed at the beginning of the sentence, but it can also be placed at the end. जैसे कि deep inside the sea live dangerous sharks. तो कहाँ कौन रहते हैं? Deep inside the water, dangerous sharks. So this is the subject, rest is the predicate. So that was all about subject and predicate. Please try to complete all these exercises on your own. So just now we have just completed about sentences. Now we'll be studying about what? We'll be studying about kinds of sentences. So there are four kinds of sentences. First is the assertive or you can say declarative. Next is interrogative, then imperative, and then exclamatory, right? So it's the kind of sentences that all four kinds, that is assertive or declarative, interrogative, imperative, and exclamatory, right? The first is assertive or declarative sentences. बिल्कुल normal sentences रहते हैं. They only provide us some information and they can be in positive or negative. Positive को हम affirmative भी बोलते हैं. So Kalki made a delicious cake for her daughter on her birthday. So this is an affirmative sentences. I did not go to the beach yesterday. That is, I didn't went to the beach yesterday. So it's all about negative. Similarly, interrogative sentences, it's just you have to remember, we only have to ask the question and WH questions, whether it's yes or no question, right? So why are you so anxious? आप इतने anxious क्यों हो? Are we leaving now? This is a yes or no question. Next is yes or no questions के अंदर एक auxiliary verb होती है which requires in answers in yes or no. और auxiliary verbs basically क्या होती है? Isn't, aren't, जैसे कि are you feeling better today? क्या आप अच्छा feel कर रहे हैं? Did you bring your न्यू नोटबुक? क्या आप अपनी नई नोटबुक लेकर आए हैं? सो ऑक्सिलरी वर्ब्स आर दोज फॉर्म्स ऑफ टेंसेस और यू कैन सी द वॉइसेस ऑफ वर्ब्स दैट दे हैव. इनको हम हेल्पिंग वर्ब्स भी बोलते हैं. जैसे बी वर्ब्स वी ऑल नो इज आर एम वॉज वर्ड. डू में डू डज डिड होता है और हैव में हैज हैव हैड होएगा. और मॉडल्स कैन मे विल शुल शुड ये सब ये क्या है? ऑक्सिलरी वर्ब्स है. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. प्लीज जस्ट राइट दीज थ्री लाइंस इन योर रिस्पेक्टिव नोटबुक्स. देन इट्स WH क्वेश्चंस. WH क्वेश्चंस में क्या होगा? व्हाट, व्हेन, वेयर, व्हाई, who which. ये since most जो है most चीजें जो है question की it begins with WH, that is why they are referred to as WH word. And such questions, ये जो questions होते हैं they cannot be answered in yes or no because why का answer you cannot give in any yes or no. जैसे कि when does the bus arrive and where is Vineet? Vineet कहाँ है? You cannot answer this in yes or no. Next is कुछ WH questions होते हैं they begins with interrogative. Interrogative means पूछताछ करना, like who, whose, whom, who, that, what, which, right? Interrogative, again, it's questions when, where, why, how long, how far, how often, and how soon. Interrogative adjectives may, we all know adjectives which qualifies noun and pronoun both. So what sweets, which curl, and whose pen, किसके बारे में बात हो रही? Question tags basically short क्वेश्चन मार्क्स ही होते हैं. दे आर प्लेस एट द एंड ऑफ द स्टेटमेंट्स टू कंफर्म दी स्टेटमेंट. जैसे कि ही इज अ डॉक्टर, वो एक डॉक्टर है. इजंट ही राइट, दे डिडंट कॉल मी, उन्होंने मेरे को कॉल नहीं किया, डिड दे कॉल मी? सो फॉर्मेशन आप कैसे करते हैं क्वेश्चन टैग की? क्वेश्चन टैग इज मेड अप ऑफ ओनली टू वर्ड्स, दैट इज इजंट ही, डिड शी एंड वोंट ही, राइट। नेक्स्ट इज ऑक्सिलरी वर्ब, जो हमेशा सेम रहती है स्टेटमेंट में भी और क्वेश्चन टैग में भी। अगर इफ देयर इज नो ऑक्सिलरी वर्ब, कोई भी नहीं होगी, तो हम उसकी जगह क्या यूज कर सकते हैं? डू, डज और डिड, राइट। तो प्रिया वन द फर्स्ट प्राइज इन द कंपटीशन, डिडंट शी, नो ऑक्सिलरी वर्ब, कोई ऑक्सिलरी मेन वर्ब नहीं है। नेक्स्ट इज सब्जेक्ट ऑल्सो रिमेन्स इन बोथ द स्टेटमेंट एज वेल एज इन द क्वेश्चन टैग, और उस टाइम पे हम क्या यूज कर लेते हैं? प्रोनाउन, बिकॉज जो सेम पर्सन और सब्जेक्ट के बारे में हम क्वेश्चन टैग में बात करते हैं। जैसे सीमा इज वेरी पोलाइट, isn't she, देखिए ये रहा प्रोनाउन, सीमा की जगह हमने she यूज कर लिया। If we are talking about some male entity, we'll be using he over here. Next is there are two types of question tags. Again, it's positive and negative. Positive में we all know that are positive रहेंगे, positive tags negative के साथ यूज होते हैं, negative tags they are used with positive, जैसे कि Puneet has scored excellent mark, hasn't she, hasn't he, right? This is positive के साथ negative, right? Similarly, Kalki, she has just finished her project work, has she? This was negative with the positive. Next is these tenses for both positive and negative, they remain the same, as well as for the statement and of course about the question tag. So we usually use short forms for these negative in the question. जैसे कि the question tag for I am is are I, right? I am hard working, aren't I, right? Imperative sentences मतलब जहाँ पे आप क्या कर रहे हैं? Command कर रहे हैं, तो positive commands के बाद आप क्या लिखेंगे? Will you, or you can say right, won't you is used. जैसे कि please keep quiet, will you, please keep quiet, won't you, right? After negative commands we only have to use will you. Do not forget to switch off the light, will you, आप switch off करना ना भूलें, will you, आप भूलेंगे तो नहीं। let us के साथ क्या use करेंगे? We will always use shall we. So let's wait for the bus for 5 more minutes, shall we, right? Moving on to the imperative sentences, we all have to give the commands, the request and the advices. Instruction, it always begins with a capital letter, ends with a full stop, right? And subject जो है वो it is implied, जैसे कि submit the assignment this evening, इस evening में आपको assignment submit करना है। what is this? This is a command. do not drive without a license, बिना license के आप बिल्कुल drive मत करिए, ये एक instruction है। next is switch off the fan please, it's a request. keep your surrounding clean so as to stay healthy and this is advice। ये कौन सा advice है? ये noun है, s लगाएंगे तो verb बन जाएगा। next is exclamatory sentences where we have to give sudden strong emotions, feeling of excitement, joy, surprise, anger, or you can say sorrow, and it always starts with a capital letter and ends with an exclamatory mark. How wonderful the performance is, kitni achhi hai, what a lucky day it has turned to be. And the last one is how dare you do that. So that was all about sentences, the kinds of sentences. One homework for all of you, that you have to frame at least 15 sentences each in each type, that is assertive, imperative, interrogative, and this last one is exclamatory sentences. Please frame these sentences. Keep reading each day and stay blessed. Thank you.